back to Sanctum Stitching, where modern meets vintage. I'm Fawn.
I'm Marianne.
And this is episode number 19. We are so excited to be back today after taking a little break. It was so nice. It's so nice to come on here and make a video, but sometimes it's just so nice to not have any obligations and relax. But now that we took a little break, we're ready to go. So I think we hit every category today, just about, between the two of us. So the one thing I did want to start with was, what are we celebrating? So Marianne, do you have a celebration ready?
I can think of one real quickly. Let me think. I'm celebrating.
That's the one thing we didn't talk about.
That's right. I talked about everything else, didn't I? I'm celebrating that the weather is getting a little cooler and the leaves are beginning to turn color. And we're getting into my favorite time of year. I love the fall. So that's my celebration.
Me too. I had a lightweight sweatshirt on the other day and I had the door open. I was under a blanket on the couch working. And I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, this is great.
Yep. So I am celebrating that I just went on vacation with my parents. So hi, Mom and Dad. Know you watch this. We went to the Outer Banks in North Carolina and rented a beach house, and it was literally on the beach. So every morning we would get up and we'd sit in these chairs that overlook this gorgeous window that stared straight out into the ocean.
How nice.
And it was, I think, the highlight of everybody's trip, just being able to sit in those chairs and drink some coffee, and even when it was raining or whatever else, just watching the waves crash. And so that's what I'm celebrating. Got to get out of Ohio, go somewhere and staycation, socially isolate, but still got to see my parents, who I haven't seen since last Thanksgiving. So it was well overdue.
Let me ask you, did you get up in time to look at sunrises over the ocean?
We did that twice, and the first one was not intentional, or the second one was not intentional. So we went on a fishing charter and we caught a bunch of fish. I actually caught a sailfish, which was so cool. Yeah, so of course our video didn't turn out because there was this whole confusion about I thought he was going to pick it up out of the water, but I guess in North Carolina, you're not allowed to take sailfish out of the water.
Okay.
So they were trying to get me to look over the edge, but after, I don't know if anybody on here has reeled in a sailfish, but it's really hard. And I did it. I'm so proud because I did it all by myself, and like I might have had to use my knee to sort of like help me push it back forward, but I did it all by myself. And when it finally got to where the guy could grab it, I was exhausted. And everything they were telling me, I had no idea. I was like, what? Oh, I'll go over here. And they're like, no, be careful. I'm like, oh, I'll go over here. But just like physically turn my body and put me where you want me to go. And so finally I understood that they wanted me to look over the edge to see the sailfish. But Sean was recording and recorded me looking over the edge, and you could see the shadow when he swam away, but wasn't actually able to record the sailfish because the sailfish didn't come out of the water.
Right. It's probably a big fish too. I mean, those things are big.
Yeah, the one that I caught, he said it was probably 5 or 6 feet and weighed probably between 30 and 45 pounds.
Okay.
And I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. But anyway, so we got up the first day. We were going to go on the Monday and take this charter, but we get there and the guy goes, the water's too rough today. We're not going to go. I think tomorrow's your day. And so this is at 4 o'clock in the morning. We had just gotten up, and then we get to him at like 5:45 because you have to be there a certain time. And all of us, my dad's ready to go because he'll wake up and he's just ready. But the rest of us are just like, okay, see you tomorrow. So we got to see the sunrise that day because none of us could fall asleep after that. And then we got to see the sunrise the next day, actually from the boat, which was
nice.
Cool. So there's my long story for, did we get to see the sunrise?
Well, maybe you sat there and watched sunsets then.
That might have been
there you go.
Definitely more my speed.
Yeah, you got some pretty sunsets. I'll remember next time to start with sunsets.
Yep.
You know that song, Sunrise, Sunset? That's from Fiddler on the Roof. Sunrise,
I don't think I know that
sunset.
one.
Well, I won't go any further. Swiftly go the years. Now you go. Let's
Nice.
start.
So stitching then.
Down to stitching.
Let's see. So I have one new start. I know Marianne doesn't have a new start this week, which is totally fine. I know personally I'm having this sort of stitch crisis where I feel like I have too many things to work on and want to work on all of them, but also want to get new things and start new things because Halloween and fall, but also trying to touch the projects I have. So I'm in this whole internal crisis of which project do I work on and when do I work on this one? But oh, I want to stitch that one and it's looking at me, but this one's really cool too. So that's why I have a lot this week. But anyway, new start. So I am working on Coming to America, which I want to say is Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. So I didn't take it out of the hoop because it's really hard to get back in the hoop since it's such a big piece of fabric. But I got this corner, the border. We have some bird, the start of the bird.
You're blocking your sound. There you go. Yeah.
Maybe I'll try now.
There. That. I can still hear you, but you got muffled by the fabric.
Well, there's so much fabric here. Oh my goodness.
I know.
So I'm starting to work my way down, and because I started this when I was on vacation in those chairs overlooking the ocean, I didn't really have a good measuring start, so I'm going to do this border all the way down to make sure that it actually fits before I start stitching all the other stuff, which is kind of boring. You know me and borders.
Yeah.
But I also don't have the thread Oscar, I think, which is either Rainbow Gallery or Classic Color Works. It's one of those, but the person I got the kits from doesn't have that in stock. She ordered it, and I guess me and all the other people that ordered it from her don't have that. And if you're stitching this project, you know that Oscar is in all of it, like all the project.
Oh, okay.
So to start in the middle where all the names are, Oscar. To start the actual edge of the border, Oscar. So I'm just kind of winging it and hoping it's okay. And I emailed her. She's like, I'm so sorry, it's not here yet. I guess the company still has to dye them again. And then, you know, our postal service. So it's like, well, I'll have it all done except for Oscar. But it's fine. It's going okay. This color is Misty Mountain. So that made me want to watch The Hobbit. If you know, you know.
I like your needle minder. That came with it, didn't it? That's cute. Yes.
Yep. So I guess they had two different ones, and it was sort of luck of the draw which one you got. It was either the Pilgrim Man or the Pilgrim Lady, and it didn't really matter to me. I know some people online are trying to trade for a certain one, but I mean, I got the Pilgrim Lady for a reason, and it's the Women of the Mayflower, so it makes sense to me. But here you could see where I have the fabric sort of tied up here, and I really need to serge the edge. I tell Sean every day, and then I never do it. But this is all the fabric, and then it doubles back up. So it's going to be so long.
Well, you can consider that a bell pull.
Honestly, it's so big. I don't think this one's going to make it into a pillow. So
I don't think so either.
That's
a wall hanging.
Yeah, it'd be a very funky looking pillow.
Oh, Lordy.
Yeah, so that's my new start. I'm very excited about it. I have been looking forward to it since the kit was first announced, I think in March or so. So once I get Oscar, I'll be really confident and feel good about it.
What color does Oscar, is it a brown of sorts or a...
It's like a brown off-white, so kind of tan, but not quite tan, I think. Maybe a little bit of green in it. It's a different color. But I do want to use what's called for since I'm using the rest of the called for colors.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I just wish Oscar would show up.
Well, they're just having to get their dye work going there, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So do you want to talk about your whips? Give me a break for a minute.
Sure. I've been working on Honeybee Hill.
I love that one.
Me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Hold it up some. And then a little bit to your left. There you go.
and you can see
Wow.
it. I've made some progress.
Hold it up a little bit higher. Perfect.
Okay, well, it takes a little bit, as you know from looking. Want me to hold it closer too? I'll take a picture of it and you can put it at the end.
Absolutely. I love those beehives though. You've gotten
I
so
do
far
too.
since I last saw it.
Yeah, I've been making a little bit of progress there. And then I'm at the same point on the Susan B. sampler that I'm doing, that we're doing the gathering too. We had 4 of us this last week get together, and we're hoping more people will join us in October. We're going to do it then. We're going to try and just decide each time we meet when we want to meet the next time. But we sat there and talked about books and the weather and everything else too.
Nice,
But
just a little meet and greet.
yeah, it was. And but I'm also making some progress here on the Frank Lloyd Wright
Wow.
with the lovely backstitching. So I figured, well, I'll just sit here and backstitch a little bit, and then
Is it mostly backstitch left, or do you still have more color to go in?
I have, what's got to go in is here you have some V's that they connect these 2 things here. So you have like a gray triangle here, but it's backstitching also that connects those. But I thought it would, otherwise the color is all in this. This is all the color there is besides that other. So
you're getting there.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I went to walk with, Jill and I have been going to the botanical garden and trying to walk, and sometimes we get there twice a week and sometimes just once a week. And I had an appointment last Wednesday somewhere else after we walked. So I sat there in my car and in the shade, just sat there for like 30 minutes because I didn't have to get where I needed to be for a little bit. And I sat there and just stitched on this, and that was kind of nice to do.
Nice.
Really
New
was.
location.
Yeah, and I took it that same day to, Joe wanted to go to Fresh Market, so I took it with me and sat there at Fresh Market in the car. I'm the chauffeur. Joe says I drive the car no matter what side I'm on. So,
Yeah, Sean would say the same thing.
and I prefer to drive the car. So. And anybody that knows me knows that. So I took that with me that day. And then when we went over to Fresh Time, because Fresh Market didn't have everything he wanted, I just called my friend Lane down in Alabama from there.
Too much car stitching.
Yeah. So I just, but it was nice to just sit there at the botanical garden, and it was a beautiful day.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the other stuff I've been working on is I'm calling it an exhibit this year, our annual exhibit for our Needle Arts Guild. So I spent quite a bit of time getting that put together as far as the photos that people sent me and getting them all put into a PowerPoint keynote type format so that I could then put them all on Facebook. And I think Fawn's going to be nice enough to put a few of them, if she can, onto our Instagram page we have for our guild.
If you send me the PowerPoint, I can start working on that this week.
Okay, I can send you the PowerPoint. Just hoping it will go to you.
It should.
Otherwise, I do just have those. I have them in my folder too. Just I have them just on my iPad, just in my photos. So okay. I may send them to you that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'll pick, how many can I send? You can put how many? Okay.
I can put 10 at a time on Instagram. Yeah. So here's a mini segue, skip ahead. If
right. We're talking about guild.
Yeah, so if you have an Instagram, you can post 10 photos at a time on one post.
Okay.
But I will probably post by person who submitted. Okay. So say Maria put 3 in, I'll probably put 3 photos up one day for her.
Right. Okay, that works. And also I've asked Fawn to put our link to our Needle Arts Guild in the down below here, because It's going to be up through October. And she's being really nice, going to do that for me because she runs the Flosstube. So there we go. Okay.
Yeah. So down below, we'll have the Facebook for our Needle Arts Guild of Toledo, which will have the exhibit. We will have the Instagram handle for Sanctum Stitching, as well as Needle Arts Guild of Toledo. Right. And was there one more thing? No, this is MB Sampler. If you want to still join that group, you are more than welcome. Even if you don't want to stitch it and you just want to look at it like I do, the link to that group is always in the show notes. So if you're interested in any of those things, check out below.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. See, she comes back from vacation and I'm going to put her to work.
That's what my work did, so it's fine.
Okay. That's me. I'm done until we get to vintage. So.
Oh man, I got a lot of talk and then I'm running out of coffee.
Oh, well, you want me to do my vintage real quick and then you can just come back. Okay. You do your
totally
thing.
Fine.
Okay.
So I worked on a bunch of different things. Like I said, can't choose, just want to work on them all. So I am not currently caught up because a new section was released for the Cloudsfactory Halloween, but I did finish the top part. So you've seen the zombie, but now we have the witch. And I love that house. Something about those glowing windows. Yeah. I love it. And so this is using the Etal thread, which is the polyester. I think Etal is the polyester one, isn't it? Or is Etal the cottony one?
I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine.
It's using the DMC one that is extra sparkly and it's pretty stiff.
Okay. You're talking about ETO. Okay.
Yeah, so it's one of those.
Look it up.
Oh, maybe it's DMC Light Effects. I think that's the one. Okay. And so that's got some in here. And of course it doesn't come across in the video, but in person it's really sparkly. So this has been a lot of fun. And I think the next one, what was it? I think it's Skeletons that was released. Okay. So there's one more section after that, and hopefully I can get this stitched up this week so I can get caught up before Saturday.
Well, it says here that DMC's new Moulin Etoile thread is a sparkly one. It features a brilliant twinkle effect. This cotton floss will, and then whatever goes after that. But it's so it might be that you are using if it's sparkly.
Yeah, because I know they have two sparkly ones, and I think it really might be the Etal and then Light Effects.
Okay.
So I think the Light Effects is supposed to be a cheapish version of Krynic.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it kind of feels similar.
Okay.
But yeah,
cool.
So there's that. Excited about it.
Yeah. I like that border on it. I know you don't.
I'm doing the border.
I know. I noticed that it's a neat little border too. It's really it's got some jazz to it, kind of.
Yeah, it was an easy one. It wasn't anything overly complicated, and it was because it was switching a little bit. It kept my interest.
Yeah, I was going to say it wasn't monotonous. Yeah, it's not. You try doing all this daggum back stitching here. That's enough to drive you insane. It'll be a short trip for me. So.
The next one is the Witchy Stitcher Kikamura, which I've shown on and off for a long time now. And I remember saying on here that I was excited because all I have left is the black, and so it's just filling in, which fast forward to current fawn, I am not excited that it's all the black and I'm just filling in. Which it was kind of nice when I was just watching TV and stuff, but then I realized I wasn't really getting anywhere because there is so much black.
Yeah.
But I got her dress done.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that's all done. But you can see here, I started going up, and then I started to go over, and then I went back down, and then I looked at how much there was, and I said, see you later, and picked up a different project.
I like the gold and tan, the yellow and gold kind of, or the tan look. I think that's really cool. You know, you've done a really nice job with that. Yeah.
In person, the face is so pretty. It's got so many different colors in it, and
Yeah.
it's just so slightly changed
Mhm.
that it almost looks realistic in person. And I wish it would come across here, but maybe in the photos at the end. But I really like this one, and I would like to have it done before Halloween, but
Yeah.
it is a lot of black, so who knows?
Well, who was doing the one that showed up, I think, in Instagram, where it's the whole, it's, you know, all black, the whole thing. It's like, I think it might have been one of those, it might have even been Heather. I'm
Maybe.
not sure, but it was one that's the whole image. It's just like, you know, things people used to do of their children and stuff, where you have it all, just the outline, and then everything's black. Caricatures, not.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it was a lady sitting there stitching, and I thought of you because the young ladies on Steel City Stitchers, they were commenting on, oh, that's neat, because then you get the outline done and you're just filling in the black.
Mhm.
And when you're saying they're not tired of black, I'm thinking,
Yeah, it always sounds like such a good idea, and it's nice to fill in because you don't have to keep looking back at your
right,
pattern, which is
yeah,
can be annoying, and it's good for like a car stitch because you don't
right,
have to be constantly referring back. But then when you're in the thick of it, it's not fun anymore.
right. I hear you. I hear you.
So then I have 2 more whips. So I'm also just got back to the Just Non Autumn Scissor Roll because I figured it's fall. I really need to finish this up. So if you remember, I have already done the mouse and I have already finished this half of the scissor roll. And so I'm currently working my way this way. And so
Oh,
that's where I'm
nice.
at. So I have the, I don't know if it's like an oven or a beehive. I guess it's more like, I'm gonna call it a pizza oven because we have
Well,
one of those at Sean's parents' house and it's amazing. So
it's
maybe
an
that's
old
our
fashioned, it's an old fashioned barbecue pit.
nice. And
What
then
it is,
this,
I bet you.
yeah, so this one is almost done.
Yeah,
There's a mouse that scurries on the side and I think a spider over here.
yeah.
And then this one, that's a little jack-o'-lantern head, and then it'll be the scarecrow,
Oh,
a pumpkin scarecrow.
well,
So
maybe it
that'll
is
be
a
nice.
pizza.
I'm gonna call it a pizza oven.
That's fine by me. It just reminds me of barbecue pits that people would have built when I was a little girl, which is a long
Yeah,
time. It did,
especially in the South, I would believe
yeah,
that for sure.
yeah. We had a neighbor up the street in Atlanta, Mr. Perkins, and he built his own barbecue pit out in the backyard with bricks and everything. And
Wow,
he would sit out there for hours, you know, do barbecue and chicken or
smoking
something
it.
like that. Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's probably so good too. Yeah, Sean's parents have a pizza oven that Sean and his dad built together. So every
Oh,
fall we kind
cool.
of like pull the TV out, watch football, which who knows, watch some football, eat some pizza. Really the only time I care about football personally is Super Bowl and when I get to eat pizza. But that does remind me of the fall to call it a
That
pizza.
would. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I like that.
And then I have a giant pile that I keep like shoving it on my breakfast bar. So that'll be fun trying to put things back after. But the last one, I worked on this. Whenever I pick this piece up, I just get lost in it for hours. And Sean came home after I logged off of work and I had started this and I didn't know he came home. He opened the door, he got changed. And then finally he was like, hello, like, are you going to acknowledge me? And I honestly, I didn't know he was in the house because I was so involved in this piece that he just walked in, took a shower. The cat sitting next to me didn't alert me that an intruder came in. Like,
Well, it
I was
wasn't
just
an intruder, it was daddy, you know.
yeah, well, he didn't even meow for daddy.
Yeah. Hey there, Sean.
Exactly. So I get so lost in the Delicate Matter Soutache by Amee Runs with Scissors is the name of the company. She's got a lot of kits on her site. I'm doing this through, I think it's ANG, so the American Needle Arts Guild or group. But it's been a great course. Her directions are so good. And even if she didn't have the videos, as a first-time person doing soutache, I could pick it up from her instructions. So now, of course, I looked at all the kits on her site and I want many of them. Some I know I would never wear,
Yeah.
so I probably wouldn't make them. But some of them I was like, I could make an exception. But this one was just so spooky. It was very me.
Yeah. Her name is Amee Sweet McNamara is her
Nice.
name. And we actually in our exhibit this year have several pieces that she designed that people have done. And then Marilyn, you know, from down in Bowling Green, took one of her classes, and now Marilyn does her own designs, as does Elizabeth Freeman, who lives over in Indiana. She has gotten a business going with some where they're doing their own. But this soutache, they really fell in love with it. And I saw what you were working on, and it's really pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've also fallen in love with it.
Oh,
Something
dear.
about when you get the needle, so in soutache, the soutache cording has a channel, so it's like little V's that meet, and where the V's meet is a groove. And when you get the needle in the channel, like you're supposed to, but it's me, it doesn't always happen. And so when you get it in the channel, it just goes through so smoothly, and it could go through like multiple layers of these channels at a time, like 6 cords.
Wow.
And if you do it the right way, it just flows so smooth, and it's so satisfying. So I just to do that, I could do this forever.
Oh,
But
well.
I got all of the soutache cording done, and I'm just going to show one piece because the nature of soutache is they're little separate pieces, and so they're kind of hard to show, and then they all get stitched together at the end, but you build the separate components first. So I was just going to show the middle portion.
That is so pretty.
Yeah, and it looks like it's supposed to. So for my first time, I am jazzed. And this bead is actually a very dark purple. It's looking lighter here, but I just like how this catches the light, and I was like, oh, it like made an actual circle of the beads on the top. And
well, when you finish it, we expect to see you wearing it on one of our floss tubes then.
I know, I was too lofty. Because I was working on this today. I was like, oh, I'm going to finish it before 5 o'clock, and I'll just show up, and Marianne will be so surprised because I'll have it on. And then it was like a 4:30, and I finished this portion. I was like, well, maybe not today. Maybe in 2 weeks.
Give yourself some time. That's very pretty, hon.
Yeah, and I did not want to put it down too. So I knew I had to get ready for this, and I was like, put my soutache piece.
I know.
So maybe I'll work on that again tomorrow afternoon, and you'll get a message from me just like,
sounds good. Okay. I'll be watching.
Right. You'll message me at 9 o'clock, be like, where's that soutache piece? I thought you were going to finish it.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, so they look so intimidating to do those pieces. And really, if you get good instructions, and Marilyn had been telling me this forever, and she gave me an instruction booklet, and I still have to give it back to her because Corona happened like right after she gave it to me, so I haven't been able to see her to give it back. But Marilyn, if you're watching, I still have it. It's safe, I promise. But as she's been reminding me, as long as you have good instructions, and Amee's instructions are perfect. She shows you every single stitch as a photo, and you can do it. It really isn't that hard. For me, the hardest part is manipulating the piece so I can see it good enough. Just because, you know, it's working on something so tiny, and so you have to like pinch it the right way. But once you get it pinched and everything's sort of lined up, you'll get it through the channel, and you'll be so excited because it'll just be satisfying. But yeah, that's my PSA for the day: is give soutache a chance. It looks intimidating. Sometimes you have to take things out, but usually it's okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Should I go to finishes next, or
Sure,
what I
because
got?
I haven't finished anything. I've got stuff finished that needs to be finished, but it's stuff I've already shown off, you know, or not shown off, but shown before. So, yeah, I need to have a weekend of finishing, you know, sewing.
Yeah, I need to have one of those too. I have a whole box directly behind the computer, and it's just like all the pieces I've done, and they're just sitting there.
Yeah, yeah.
So this one, I couldn't find the pamphlet to tell the actual name, but I've talked about it before. And so I know it's Rosewood Manor, which
Okay.
I say I know that, but I'm like 99% sure it's Rosewood Manor. And this was my anniversary present to Sean. And I have to stand up because it's actually really good.
Right.
So you've seen this
Yeah.
off and on.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Here we go. So I came up the saying in the middle. It says, "My soul honors your soul, and I am devoted to you," which hopefully that's coming across in the right direction on your screen.
Yes. Yes.
And that was part of our vows. And so on here, I misjudged the center, of course. And so I had to add the little birds to sort of make it even out. But I thought that was okay because there was some birds up here, and it seemed simple enough.
Yeah.
And then I wrote my initials in 2020. So I had to get that done because that was the first thing I did.
Yeah.
And then Sean and Fawn, it has our date on it, which the reason that that doesn't go all the way across is because I didn't want to take apart my Q-snap.
I don't blame
And it's like true life, didn't want to take apart the Q-snap, just wanted to finish it. So I could have taken it apart and spread that out across the bottom and it would have been more even. But you know, it looks fine and it was easier. So sometimes you go the easy way where it still looks nice.
Well, and it goes with, it's underneath the vow, the things from your vows, the wording from your vows. It fits right there, right below that tree. So no, that's the perfect place for it. I like that better than if you had strung it all the way across the bottom. I think it looks much better this way.
Good. Yeah. See, it was on purpose. It wasn't because I was lazy. And then there's one more little saying here, which I have to actually read because I don't remember what it says. Into the forest we'll go to uphold our marriage and never let go. Which I can't remember if I found that online or if I came up with it. I might have merged a couple things together. But yeah, I gave this to Sean, and my mom has a video where Sean is just sobbing. And it is the sweetest thing. But I think we're going to make this into a pillow, have it be like the first pillow on our bed. And if I leave enough fabric and we ever want to take it apart, I'm sure I could frame it later on too.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Catherine mentioned to me yesterday, she said, has Fawn shown you the piece? And I said, yeah, I've seen some of, most of it. And now I get to see all of it. But yes, I told her I had seen it as you were working on it. So that's so pretty, hon.
Yeah, I'm so jazzed about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I have one more finish. So this is an original, which I know get real fancy. I also wanted to make Sean something else for our anniversary, but didn't know what and didn't want to buy anything. So what I ended up doing was, you see it on, especially on Instagram, you see bouquets, wedding bouquets stitched, made a lot. And you can pay people, you could give them your photos and they'll actually do a commission for you. But I wanted to challenge myself and see if I could do it. And it was a labor of love, I'll tell you that for sure. I didn't know what I was doing, and if the back of my bouquet for my wedding had a giant fan. And I knew I had to stitch the fan first, so I got that figured out and transferred onto the fabric. But I'm not good at satin stitching. I have tried, and I know it's long and longer, but I can't figure it out. So one day when we meet in person, you'll be able to show me, but it wasn't going well. So then I was like, okay, well, I just need to get enough satin stitches in there to show the top. And so it looks like a fan, and then I could cover it with flowers. And so I started doing flowers, and they have a book. I want to say Cruel Embroidery book, and I was just randomly flipping through those, and I was like, that looks like a nice stitch. And so then I would make that into a flower, or not a bush, but like more shrubbery instead of flowers. And eventually it all came together. But now that it's done, I love it. Sean loved it. So I gave him the one gift, sobbing. Gave him the second gift. Now he's like sobbing. And so then, you know, like when somebody else cries, even when it's like happy cry, then you
Right.
start crying. And my parents were there, and everybody
Oh my
crying,
gosh.
all because I made this piece. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is amazing.
Well, remember to tell people too that you have his boutonniere on there.
Yeah, yep.
Don't
So
forget that part.
here it is.
Yeah.
And the fun part, I'm going to take this out of the frame and sort of get the, like actually stretch it more, but I just wanted to get it done.
Yeah.
But there's my satin stitches in the back for the fan. And so then I have a lot of other stitches in there, some lazy daisy, some wagon wheels. This was like sort of a bullion knot. There was some weird one behind there. But then it wasn't enough. And I had this big space in the middle, and I didn't know what kind of flowers I wanted to add. I only had so many big white ones, and I kind of put them in there. So I wasn't sure what to do. And I think it wasn't it your idea, Marianne, to come up with the
Yeah. I did ask you, do you have his boutonniere or some of your flowers from your thing? And you told me, well, the flowers didn't survive, that your bouquet didn't survive, but his boutonniere did. So I'm so glad that worked.
Yeah. So I gently took his apart, and it's so fragile because they are like perfectly dried, but they're almost too perfectly dried that they're just falling apart. And excuse me, a lot of talking. And so I have the main flower from his boutonniere on there. He had this sort of like a wheatgrass kind of.
It's a just a dried flower or dried fern or something like that,
Mini bush.
It's a fall thing.
Yeah, whatever it is on there. And so I was on a call, and I think I asked, and everyone's like, oh, that kind of looks too big there. But I had put it on it, and I loved it. And I was like, well, everybody's saying it's too big, but I think I like it, and I have to look at it. So I think I'm going to do it. So then I did it, and once I started adding these little pieces in, it sort of drew the attention away from right here and made it more dramatic, but also made this not seem quite as big. And so then this is the ribbon from my bouquet, and this is the tie that was on his.
Yeah.
And so it just all came together, and I really like it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You're actually up here, what you've been doing is long and short stitch into your satin stitch. You did a nice job with it, really. You really did, because satin stitch, you just build on it.
Oh yeah, long and short stitch is what I was thinking.
Yeah. No, you did a nice job with it. You really did. Yeah.
When it was the only stitch on the page or on the fabric, it didn't. It was bad. I was like, what am I doing? Why am I working on this project? And then I switched to the flowers, and once I switched to flowers, it went a lot better.
She likes flowers, people.
Well, I can stitch flowers, and once I started on that wagon wheel, I was like, oh, this is easy.
I know, that's what I mean. You do really well with those things. So I don't blame you. I still work on long and short stitch and go nuts trying to do that. But that's really, you did a nice job with that.
Yeah, this might have to be our cover photo for today.
I think it should be. I would agree. Definitely.
Yeah, so I'll let you know how I end up finishing it. I think it will still be in a hoop, but maybe I'll get a nicer one. I've seen some that people use where it's sort of rounded instead and a darker grain. And so I think maybe a nicer looking hoop will really draw out the dark ones in here, and then I can get all of the sort of lines here that I couldn't iron out in time before Sean got home.
Yeah, that really turned out nicely.
Thank you. I'm actually very proud of it. Usually you make something and you're like, it could be better. I could fix this. I'm like, nope, I like it.
It would even be pretty, except I know you'd like to probably hang it, but it would be pretty as a top on a box.
Yeah, my only worry is that it's so fragile.
I know it would get bumped. Yeah,
exactly.
You might even look for something like a shadow box.
Oh, that's actually probably what I should do.
To be honest,
maybe I'll hoop inside a shadow box.
That's what I was going to say. Put a hoop, leave it on the hoop, but put it in a shadow box, and then you could hang it, because otherwise it's going to deteriorate.
Yeah, and I
You don't want to
don't.
be bumping it or, you know, something like that. But a shadow box or even a box that's got a glass top on it.
Hmm. With enough space, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that you could sit on a table or something and look down at it. You know, people collect all sort. People used to collect snuff boxes or other types of little boxes, and they would keep, or other things they might collect, and they would keep them in a box that was tall enough that nothing would get squished. Don't
Right.
start crying when you look at these things. Your eyes are tearing up, I can tell.
Oh no, this light over here is so
Oh,
bright.
okay. Oh, it's so bright. Oh, well, we're gonna have to.
And I
I'm sorry.
realized that my chair has actually shrunk since we
Oh,
started, so now the light is coming.
oh
So
dear.
don't mind me, just
Oh, the chair went
raising
down.
the chair up again so
There
I
you
can
are.
see.
Yeah, you are up higher now.
Yeah, no, seriously, you probably go back and watch, and I'll just like slowly shrink down.
Welcome to
But
our world, y'all. The world of Marianne and Fawn, or Fawn and Marianne. You never know where we might be. See, I'm in the 10.
um, yeah, but one thing I did want to share about this is because it was so fragile, I was like, okay, well, how am I gonna take it on our trip down to North Carolina and keep it safe? Because I didn't want to give it to him here. I wanted it on our actual anniversary date. And it just came to me to use a decorative plate box container. So I took out my decorative plate and I put it on the counter and I told Sean, I was like, okay, there is this fancy plate here. Don't you dare break it. And of course, now it's weeks later, it's still sitting on our table. But, you know, it's fine. And I put my hoop into this plate box and it fits perfectly. And
Yeah.
so I just put a little bit of tissue paper on top just to give it some extra padding. But if you have to mail something or just sort of protect something that's in a hoop like this, and you have a decorative plate box, which I know people collect them, so it could be likely that you have one, then you can just use this as a transport
Yeah.
case.
I'm glad you showed them that because I was thinking of it just now. And show them how you transported it, you know, 'cause I got to see it before
Thing.
Sean did. So I feel really honored.
Yeah, everybody that was on the Thursday stitch-in
Right.
for our Needle Arts Guild,
Got to
everyone
see.
was like, "Did you finish it? I know you're leaving. Did you finish it? You have to show me." It's like,
Yes.
I'll show you. I'm so excited. Still talking. Do you want to do vintage so I can have a break?
Yeah, I'll do vintage. Um, I was going to wear my vintage sweatshirt too, but I decided I got all cleaned up. I'm not going to put on my sweatshirt that's almost 30 years old. But this hat, I bought this hat back in 1978 in Louisville, in Lexington, Kentucky, at a shop that was an Appalachian shop. And it was ladies that all lived in Appalachia and were from Eastern Kentucky. And they had, you know, it's really nice. It's got just pink inside, the not rick rack, but the kind of fabric. I can't think of it now, but it's shiny and comfortable. And it's lined. It's lined. And this thing I wear almost all winter. Joe would tell you if she's not wearing this, she's wearing something that comes down over her ears and everything. But it's I guess people call them like, newspaper hats or whatever.
Oh, it's so cute.
But I, wanted to show it to you because it's for people that do quilting. It's like that in a sense.
Oh yeah.
But it's different and it's wool, and it's got one or two little things where I think a mouse, a little moth might have gotten to it. But I love it, and I just slap it on, and it doesn't matter what my hair looks like. I can go someplace and have this on, and I've had more people comment on this than when I tell them how old it is. So this is the vintage.
It looks brand new still.
1978. Yeah, it's grosgrain ribbon is what I was trying to think of. That's on the inside, the grosgrain.
I never heard of it.
Well, grosgrain's just a type of ribbon that is wider usually, and it's shiny kind of, and you'll see it on dresses sometime, or it's nice to use it inside for something. But and the inside is different from the outside. So that's my vintage for today.
I love it.
Go. My newspaper.
Just in time for fall.
That's right. That's right. I had it on the other day, in fact, because it was chilly out. I don't know about any of y'all that are watching from other locales, but Toledo had, temperatures. We've been having temperatures going down to the 40s at night. And unfortunately, we're going to be warming back up, but sometimes our high has only been like 60, which is, oh, good, it's fall, it's fall.
Yeah, I think today was like in the 70s, almost 80 or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, weather doesn't know what it's doing.
This was a summer of the weathermen and weather ladies telling us, oh, we are now in our 34th day of 90-degree temperatures. We've never had this many in Toledo in the summer. Because since May, I think it was, wasn't it, that they started? I mean, it's not that it was all in a row, but,
Sean and I talked about
May.
that. Yeah, we talked about that a lot because he started a landscaping job this summer. We were like, oh, of course, because of all the 90-degree days, you're going to be outside landscaping.
Yep. And it was 90 plus. A lot of them were 90 plus. So, yeah.
So it's his fault that we had it so hot.
There. So
Thanks,
that's our vintage for today. That's the vintage.
Nice. Did you get anything the last couple weeks?
Oh, no, nothing new came in. No.
Good. That's nice. I wish I didn't spend the money, but it's fine. I think there's one of the girls on Steel City Stitchers, and when she does buy something, oh, hi, Fritzy.
Hi, Fritzy. Fritzy just took away our bigger screen.
Oh, no. Yeah, one of the Steel City Stitchers, I want to say it's Erica, and most of the other girls, they buy stuff all the time, and she doesn't usually. So when she does buy something, it's like, oh, hold up, Erica got something. What did she buy? So maybe one day I'll be more like Erica.
Yeah. Well,
but today it's not that day.
Well, a lot of people, I think, are also doing, just looking at the different Flosstubes or even the groups on Facebook and such. A lot of people are thinking more about, I'm just trying to clean out my stash. I'm trying to use things in my stash or something. So,
yeah, one of the things Sean and I talked about was not just getting a pattern because, oh, that one's nice, but getting a pattern because we really, really want it and want to spend the time on it.
Yeah.
And so trying to be a little more selective, like I can see, for example, I think the Liz Matthew patterns are so pretty, but I don't think that I'll sit there and spend the time to personally stitch it. I want to see somebody else do it and I want to see it in person, but I don't think I'm going to be the one to do it. Which, who knows, maybe I'll walk into a stitching shop and I'll see somebody already have done it and then I'll change my mind, but just want to be more selective on purpose.
There you go.
Yeah, so then I got 2 Witchy Stitcher patterns,
nice.
Which I think this one is kind of vintage. So this is called, I think it's Be Still Happy Halloween.
Oh, cute.
And so I believe that is a vintage Halloween cat.
I was going to say, look at that. It is. It is.
Look, I got vintage. So we got a rug at Michael's this year because we had some coupons, and those rugs, they're very expensive, but we got it for $5 with all of like the stacking that I did, and it had this cat on it. And the reason we picked it was because I knew I could get a Witchy Stitcher pattern with that cat to now match my outdoor rug. So, just had to get it. It's fine. And then the second one I got was Pumpkin Witch Halloween Greetings. And I've looked at this one. I think this came out last year. So I've kind of looked at it for a while.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I like the shape of it. And I like that she finished it into a flat fold.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine putting just a little black ribbon on top and hanging it somewhere around Halloween time.
Yeah.
And that pumpkin is what really sold me. It's just so angry and so chunky. And he's blue, and I have to stitch him. So it's just a stark contrast to the moon, which looks so pleased and so nice.
Yes.
And then there he is.
Happy
So we'll have to
moon.
figure out what to name Grumpy over here.
There you go, right there. Grumpy pumpkin.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
And then I am still waiting for my Be Stitch Me fabric. It's stuck in the mail somewhere, but I did get my Color and Cotton fabric of the month. So the first one, and these are from August because it's been a while since we've been on here.
Yes, yes.
And it doesn't have a name, just August.
That's pretty
But-
fun.
And that's coming out pretty good. There's a little bit more orange. There you go. You could see a little more of the orange mottling in it. I always say modeling still.
That's okay.
But I really like this. I am thinking probably something fall, but we're just going to hold on to it until the right pattern comes. And then I get two. So these are both Belfast, so 32 count, and they're 13 by 17. But the next one is this orange color.
That looks like sherbet.
Yes, it's very sherbet. On my screen, it looks a little darker than it actually is, but maybe it's coming across good for you because you
dark
in
the middle part, but as you get out to the sides, that's where it, that looks like sherbet. Orange,
Oh,
there you go. Yeah.
Maybe I should do that with the other one too.
Oh, very pretty.
Because I'm like, hello, can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah, so I am very pleased with these. The last month, I didn't really love it. I think it was a gray color, and I like the purple that I think came with it, but it wasn't. I signed up for the Color of the Month Club, and to me, a gray is more neutral than more color. So I wasn't too pleased. So I was like, okay, we'll give it one more month, and if it's good, I'll keep it. If it's like going to be the gray again, I'm not going to keep it. And then she comes out with these two. I was like, well, I guess we have to see what September and October have.
It'll be interesting to see if she still carries on some of the oranges or moves into like some deep purples or something like that, or some bright yellows for fall.
Yeah, or like a spooky green.
Yeah, well, that
green, that would be really cool.
That would be cool too. I saw where Fortnite Fabrics is going to do their auction tonight instead of, they didn't do it.
Oh, they did do it. So it's Monday for us, the 9/21, but they did do it last night. They just did it at, I think, 7 o'clock instead of 3.
Oh, is that what it was? Oh, okay. I misread the thing.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, I think for them, I might start just ordering, like actually order from their website instead of the auction. Because now it's when they first started doing it, it was really easy to get, which I mean, that's really good for them. They're growing and it's so cool, but it means the pieces are a lot more expensive and a lot harder to win an auction.
I really like looking at their website. I think they've got some pretty colors, and I believe that one of the ladies with the Steel City Stitcher, she does dyeing of fabric.
Yeah, I think it's Jody. I know she
That's
does.
who it is. I knew it started with the J. That's who it is.
Yeah, I know she does dyeing with the Witchy Stitcher.
Okay.
I don't think she does it with Fortnite fabrics, but she might.
No, I didn't mean with them. I just meant she does dyeing of fabrics. So,
yeah, I know. I think the blood spatter fabric that the Witchy Stitcher puts out is all made by Jody.
Oh,
and
okay.
I think every episode Jody's like, look at the fabric I dyed, and it's amazing.
Right. It is.
She was doing this one recently where she was bleaching fabric. So I guess they had this whole bunch of black Ada, and I want to say she spray bottle bleached it. Yeah. And so it had like all these random patterns, and then she dyed that fabric with the RIT dye after.
Yeah.
And so it was all the bleach spots of the black Ada were able to pick up the color. And so you have this black Ada where now you're seeing greens or blues or whatever else in there. And it's really cool.
We have a cat who's on the attack mode here. Fritzy's just deciding to grab Mama or grab Joe has his iPad hookup thing here, so Fritzy's after that.
Yeah, I'll have to add a photo. When I was doing the Sutash piece, Wally kept trying to get closer and closer to what I was working on. And so he was good. He just sat sort of on his cat carrier, but his paws would start creeping over. I'd be like, I'm beading, what are you doing? And then pause will sort of go back.
I love it. At least he knows to back up.
Exactly. So I'll have to post a photo. I got a really cute one. I have one thing left, and that is a giveaway, which we forgot to talk about, but I have this Lizzie Kate Boo squared piece, and I like giving away the Lizzie Kate because they just fit in a normal envelope. But this is Boo squared.
Oh, cute.
And it's just the chart. It doesn't have, I don't think it comes with needs any charms. Oh, there's candy corn buttons on the top that you can order, but I'm sure you could just stitch those if you can't find them someplace. But it's just the chart, so maybe let's use the word boo in a sentence, B-O-O, and the next time we have a video, we'll draw for that. But I thought this was cute and kind of appropriate with all the fall talk and Witchy Stitcher and pumpkins. These ones aren't nearly as grumpy, but I'm sure you could make them grumpy if you wanted to.
Oh, that's a good idea.
If you would love this chart, don't use the word giveaway. What are all the other things people say? You must be 18 so you can legally give me your address. Yeah, and just use boo in a sentence. And if I missed anything, I'm sure you know the drill from other Flosstubes. So
yeah,
just enter to win.
Hello, Fritz. Don't step on the keyboard. See,
Well, that's fine.
I lost you there.
Done anyway. Oh no,
I'm seeing your screen. I don't think it's my screen, but maybe it is.
It should be your screen, not mine.
That's what I'm afraid of. I don't know why on earth. Here, let me go back up to Zoom. This is a whole new screen here. I don't know. What did he do? There. Fritzy, I've told you not. I don't need to rejoin, do I? You came back up.
No, I can hear you and I can see you.
I just can't see you. Okay. Back to meeting. Okay. Cool. Wow.
On that note.
Told you. On that note, sorry, y'all. Usually he starts music. What can I say? Yeah.
Anyway, so we are so glad once again to be back with you today.
Yep.
Please comment below. Let us know if you have anything to say about all the things we talked about. Check out the show notes for the links to our guild exhibit, which is just so cool to click through. Marianne really did spend a lot of time and did a very, very good job of putting it together with the pictures and the information for that picture right next to each other. And I would love for everyone to go check that out, especially if you're on Facebook. If not, stay tuned on Instagram. Just to see the work that our guild is doing, because truly those are some of the most talented ladies I've ever seen. And they're all so humble, and none of them will be like, I'm amazing, look at me. But really, each and every one of them needs to be. So I'm so glad we can showcase them online in this capacity.
Right. It was fun. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. And we wish you all a good couple of weeks. It is going to be a couple of weeks probably before we're back again.
Yes. Yep. We decided we're going to probably do a 2-week schedule. Yeah. Unless we just really have to tell you something, then we'll be back on a random day to give you a newer video. But we want this to be fun, and we want to be stitching because we want to stitch and not because we're trying to meet some sort of video deadline. So you'll get excited, happy content, and it'll be good. So hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video when we do post. And we'll see you soon. Have a great week.
Take care. Bye-bye.